boy Drew. Checking out that Drew World Order live. Tonight, man, I wanted to get into this. It seems to be apparent, this Babylonian hive mind that's out here, man. There's like the mask is taking over, and everywhere you go, you know, these people are looking at you like you're crazy because you don't want to wear this mask. When a few months ago, nobody was down with the masks. Yeah, it's wild out here, bro. So it's clear to me, at least, it's apparent that there's some kind of hive mind. So if you guys want to share this stream with someone, let me try to break down what this channel's about real quick for someone new. I see all the regulars in the chat here. Shout out to everyone in here. I would call this channel like post conspiracy, and where it's like you go through all these conspiracies and you learn there's just way too many conspiracies, and there's conspiracies within conspiracies and everything. So something else has to be going around. You're either in some kind of simulation or something, or you could just call it Satan. You could, if that's what you want to call it, Satan pulling everyone's strings. It's like the hive mind taking over everyone. I would go as far to say, me personally, it's hard to prove, but I would say like all these stories that are put out there is actors, and that's another thing that I talk about here on this channel, is like actor-based reality, where top politicians and everything are just basically actors on a stage, on a world stage, worldwide. The countries are just different slave farms or whatever, and they're enacting this really long-term play to get especially here in America, to get the consent. They want your consent for everything they do. And so they have these scripts written out for 30, 40, 50 years, and as crazy as that sounds, man, if you're not down with it, that's all I can see, man. The longer term people that I've seen into it, all kind of say the same thing, that the mistakes that we catch them in the truther community, we catch them. That's all on purpose. Those mistakes that they put in there in the ISS and the dad from all that stuff, seems to be intentional. And so then you got to ask yourself, like, why is this intentional? What's the purpose of it? And to me, it seems like it's to kind of gaslight the person that's the independent thinker. There's like one per family, one black sheep per family or something. And then so they hit you with these things these conspiracies or whatever that they put out there for you to find, kind of like an interactive cicada 3301 or something almost, where the old timer boomers, they get their news from only TV, and they watch that and then they believe it 100%. Well, then there's a younger generation of people, 30 to 40-year-old, whatever. I mean, there's a wide range, and these people get their news and stuff from like memes and social media. And so now there's a whole nother layer that they've added in there. It's like an interactive, it's almost like a game you play, these conspiracies. And it's much like Pokemon Go. I've mentioned that before. It's like these things are like Easter eggs put out there for you to find and everything. Like Ghislaine Maxwell in the past, she's in everyone's wedding and everywhere. Everywhere there was famous people, and then she's there in the background and everything. It just seems like, to me, it's either like a simulation proof or they're just a long-term script. That's the only way I can say it, man. And at least with the regular media, the Mockingbird media, that's all on the news, that's all prepared and government-run propaganda. Those people know that they are propagandists. I think at the top level of them, they know, and they're there to serve up some disinformation for you. But then on the social media scene, I think most people don't know it. Some people probably are in on it, like Alex Jones, the bigger type guys. But most people don't know it, and they just spread these memes and spread all this disinformation. Meaning well. They actually mean well. They're not doing it intentionally. I mean, who wouldn't want to like save kids and everything like that? And that's what it's based on. And so it's a game similar to Pokemon Go, where you collect these screenshots and you share these screenshots, and there's a community involved with it. There's the camaraderie of the community. You get points, you get likes, you get follows, you get the dopamine from the social media and everything. But you're doing this for free. Most of these people are out here spreading all these Pizzagate and all that stuff, and they're doing it for free. And it just seems like another layer of a trap. And that's what I see. A lot of the more longer term truthers kind of see it the same way, that they have these traps where you get stuck on this identitarian type things like flat earth or something, or Pizzagate and everything. And even though there is somewhat evidence, there's evidence that you found, I think that evidence is manufactured in a studio, and it's all put out there for you. Being the one person in your family, friends and family, that questions things and you're more intuitive and all that, it's for you to go to your friends and family and be like, did you see this? Bill Gates is the earth is flat. And it's, so you're coming out saying the most blasphemous things to these people that only believe the TV. And now they're instantly discrediting you, even though you have found proof that was put out there for you to find, but they won't even look at that. It doesn't matter that there's proof. They just are like, okay. So I think it's purposely to discredit the people that are like that, the one black sheep per family or whatever, that are going to look into it, because it's so obviously not real. It's just propaganda, and it's pretty obvious the more and more you get into it. One thing though that gets hard for people is they get trapped in one certain layer, like the flat earth layer, the Pizzagate layer or something. They get stuck right there instead of keep going through and go a little bit more and realize that all this stuff's put out there to create you to be this kind of character that's going to shoot yourself in the foot because you're so outraged over what's happening. You're going to cause a fight over the mask or anything like that. And I know that's what Matt talked about in his last video. It's just funny that the further and further down the rabbit hole you get, the people kind of see it all the same way. I think it's just kind of different wordings for how we're saying it here. And yeah, people get hooked on that. Jessica said the sensationalism of the Pizzagate and all those kind of conspiracies and everything. And to me, man, it's pretty obvious that they're messing with you, dude. This guy, Bill Gates, I showed videos before where he says he's a minor wizard and he's always talking with his hands, and he definitely knows something. I've showed videos before where he says something that's kind of interpreted two different ways. He's really slick with that neurolinguistics programming. He's real slick with it. And so there's another video I saw recently going around, and he's doing it again, man. The same things. This is what he does, man.
One final way that's new and is promising is called the RNA vaccine. With RNA and DNA, instead of putting that shape in, you put instructions in the code to make that shape. You put instructions in the code to make that shape.
So he says instead of putting that shape in you, but at the same time he says it as like chip in you, like he wants you to think he slipped up, but I think he didn't. It's like a double reverse psyop or something, just to get, because the people that don't believe any of these conspiracies, they're never going to hear that. And he's real slick and subtle with it to slip that in, just for the people that are aware of the conspiracies and everything, to be like, oh my God, did you hear that? And then you're going to show your family and everything, because they're not even going to hear it. It's like that Laurel and Yanny type thing, or the blue dress and the yellow dress type thing. These guys are master. That's what all these occult people are studying, how to manipulate your psyche and everything like that. And so they do that, and they put things out like that, and then you share it, and then now you believe Bill Gates is going to be like Freddy Krueger. What was it, Freddy 4 or whatever, when he had the needles for the hands, or was it 3, whatever it was, all giddy about stabbing kids with the needle. And then you're like, oh my God. And you want to show all your friends or the normies in your family, the hive mind people, because we're trying to break them out of the hive mind. Because for whatever reason, their spells don't work on us. They're in the hive mind because, like, industrial scale magic, spelling, black scrying mirrors, word spells, word magic, like Bill Gates I just showed you, neurolinguistics programming, all kinds of techniques they use to keep people lulled to sleep through technology and through repetition and brainwashing, all that stuff. And then now the hive mind is there. It's their it's the army for these people, man, for the controlling class. And then, yeah, Jessica again says, as much control as these people have, yes, absolutely every single slip up is intentional. Yeah, they control everything. They control every social media, every TV channel. If they wanted to clip that little Bill Gates thing out, they could easily clip it out. And then they got type to text in his voice even. They could just, without him even knowing, they could just overlay. Somebody could type in what they want him to really say or take that part out, because they're going to be like, oh, wow, these people think Bill Gates is going to put a chip in you, and he just accidentally said chip instead of shape. They would easily fix that. So it's left there on purpose. Another one they mess with you with here is the Chrissy Teigen. I think she just deleted. So probably not even her. There's probably some bot. And she knows this is her role here. And the bot probably makes those tweets for her and everything throughout that time. And then they delete. Because there are all these weird tweets about kids and everything. Like no one noticed that or said anything before. But again, it's just to mess with you. And then because you spread it, you go back and you repost these on your social media. You're working for the government at that point. For this layer of government propaganda to keep you trapped here, to not break through the next step where you realize they're all behind the scenes working together, like wrestling, like WWE. Here's another one I saw today. This guy's actually one of my favorite trolls now. Tom Hanks. He's gonna sell hot dogs during the A's game. So they say pizza and hot dogs is the codes for the Pizzagate and everything. And everyone says, oh, Tom Hanks, he's taking pictures of shoes, so he's killing kids and everything. I think this guy just gets the biggest kick out of this. I bet he says he's gonna sell some hot dogs, and so the people that have the best intentions and are smarter than 85% of the normies. Now you go and tell your friends, the normie friends, Tom Hanks is selling hot dogs at an A's game. That means he eats children, and they're gonna be like, what are you talking about, dude? They're not gonna have any clue, and I think that's the whole point of it. So on the flip side of the hive mind, you have on your way down the rabbit hole, you got all these traps just to discredit yourself, even if it's real. Like even though the flat earth, it seems to be flat and everything. Like for 100 years, they've just pumped propaganda out there to say anyone that says flat earth is crazy. And then you go out and share flat earth at work or something, and they're like, holy cow. Yeah, like Wayfair. Somebody said, Bobby J said Wayfair. Yeah, like Wayfair was another one. Like, yeah, you go to work and say, hey, did you hear they're selling little kids in Wayfair cabinets and shipping them to your door? And what do you think that people are going to see? Even though you are smarter and you have done more research than these people, they're going to immediately discredit you because they only believe the TV. So it does seem like a major gaslighting operation in place, targeting the people that are trying to help everyone else break out of that hive mind.